So I am Dr. Barbara Johnson from South Africa, and today is a recording for Gansu Internation's Global Innovations, simply because we've just come off load shedding. We're going to go on to load shedding, and a storm is imminent. So these are things that we call a change, right? These are things that we require to self-manage. And that's exactly what our topic is today. Self-management. What is this thing called self-management? Let me first introduce myself to our newcomers, and that is that I am Dr. Barbara Johnson. I'm in South Africa. Whew. Take a breath. It's been one of those days. And so, 40 years or so, plus, not minus, but certainly plus, I went into self-development for the very strong purpose of becoming a better human being, a better person, for the sake of being a parent for the first time. And in that wonderful process, I have learned so much about humanity through that expansion of myself into so much more than I had realized before. 20 years now, Leadership Dimension Solutions has been offering that assistance to people from the perspective of trauma counseling, life coaching in the form of transformation and transcendence, and of the last 2 years, transference into wealth, or transference of wealth, so that the whole evolution of the self cycle can be evolutionized, revolutionized, engaged with, uplifted, upskilled. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey, and I have loved every moment of it. So today I'm going to share with you the fact that I have also worked for those 20 years into individuals, into teams, into companies, into institutions around the world. I've talked, spoken, trained, taught around the world. Is there more to come? Oh, certainly there is. And I'm looking forward to that. Dr. Barbara Johnson, South Africa. Our topic today is self-management. Let me do the necessary. And that should do it. Right, there we go. Self-management. This is my perception of self-management. Self-management, those words mean the self managing the self. So where does that self-management come from? My interpretation of that, the most effective way of coming to a place of self-management, is through myself guiding the process, being self-determined, self-started, self-implemented and initiated from the person of me, the person of myself, not a prescribed self. That's a very important piece, that, because this prescribed self is not the self-determined self. And we may talk about that a little bit later. So in the definition of self-management, self-determined process of self-motivation and self-discipline equals, in my book, self-management. And we're going to unpack that. So what is the self-determined? The self-determined is I have determined what it is. The person involved here is the me, or in your case, it is the you. Whose responsibilities will be carried? Your responsibilities will be carried into this process of what it is that you're going to manage, with your options and with your choices of those options. What would your actions per day look like? Your DMO, your daily, I've forgotten the word now, method of operation, daily method of operation. What is your daily method of operation to fulfill those choices, those options, those responsibilities? What are your commitments in those DMOs? What are your actions that you are going to be taking in those DMOs, daily methods of operations? If you do not have the buy-in, if you do not have another human being self-determined buy-in, it's just going to frizzle out. Self-motivation. This is very important, but let me tell you, this is not where it starts and ends. This is where most people go wrong, because they leave it at motivation. And I'm saying there's more. So, yes, what are you inspired to be doing? What is meaningful to you? Why are you doing this? Let me give you an example. I am in a beautiful program that is working with the transference of wealth. So we're taking this part of wealth and we're moving it along to this part of wealth in a different format that creates a sustainable, stable, stronger financial base. Self-motivation says to you, would say to me, the motivation is, well, yes, I want the stable financial base. I want to be able to be sustained, be stable, and I want to move into a place of what that would bring for me from a pleasure perspective. For instance, it would bring peace of mind, peace of heart, knowing that month by month, year by year, my finances have been looked after. In other words, away from the pain of uncertainty, away from the pain of not knowing, away from the pain of the fluctuations, the ups and the downs, away from having to ask my children to look after me. So that raises then the next question. And what is that next question is, what is the purpose in this process? How am I going to be doing this? I know why now I'm going to be doing it. So with that why, I elevate myself into how can I be doing this? How can I efficiently be doing this? How can I connect with other people? How can I look for best mindset? How can I grow myself in that process? And then when would I know that that process is done? Well, in my case for January 2023, 2 days ago, my process was that I received a ranking in the company that gave me a result that I was looking for. The fulfillment of that time frame, the fulfillment of that why, when the two come together, there is that desired outcome. that ability to do, that ability to create action, the right action, from the basis of self-motivation of, wow, I want this. I really want this. As I alluded to before, that's not enough, because if the next part of the process is not looked after, self-motivation on a bad day, when you want to pull the covers over your head, when the storm is outside and it's very dark and it's cold and whatever is happening, whatever excuse you can come up with, self-motivation is going to frizzle away. This is where the rubber hits the road. Self-discipline. It is the processing of the self-motivation from the perspective of self-determination. If you remember, we got involved, we did the buy-in, we did the self-motivation work. Now it's also we who need to do the discipline on a day by day by day by day process. So in the case of my January 2023 goal, that meant picking up the phone. That meant speaking to people. That meant me making a list of names that I needed to talk to in that day, to engage with, to find out where they were, how I could be of service to them, what their needs were, how we could move together forward into a better process, into a bigger reason for not only myself, but also for them. So when you have that combination of the self-motivation, the why and the purpose, and what it would be like when you feel fulfillment, you also have the grind of every day of doing DMO, 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 DMO. And being responsible for it, accountable for it. That combination for me, the self-motivation, the self-discipline, based on the self-determination, the self-determining, the non-prescription, equals for me self-management. That way around, we have a win and a win and a win. Not a bad place to be in. And there it is, happiness. So yes, on the 31st of January, I got it. I did it. I ranked up. I got what I wanted. I was excited. I jumped around and I danced around and I celebrated. I did it. And there's where the beauty of responsibility lies, because I did it. And in doing it, I got a result that I wanted. I got an outcome that I needed. And I felt empowered. But it doesn't stop there. I can now do that again. So February 2023, I have the same goal, with an uplift, with an upskill, with doing it faster, doing it better. So I upskill. I learn something every time I take on a self-management program. I take on coming to the party. I take on my buy-in. I take on the motivation and the discipline. I upskill into better, faster, and certainly bigger results. And again, there's still some more. Do you see how this evolving process takes us into that space of bigger, better, faster, that place of better people, better skilled people, better beings? We get to teach others as well how to do it. And together, we're on a journey, and we get to do far greater things into the world. We have a far greater impact into the world. So for myself now, I've got team leaders who say, okay, Barbara, how did you do that? We want the same. We want to know how you did that so that we can do the same. Will you teach us? And once you have engaged with the process, then yes, you can teach it. And don't we want to be able to duplicate ourselves? Don't we want to be able to duplicate our energy and our actions? Don't we want to duplicate our mindset so that we can all have desirable outcomes, results that impact greater and greater lives? So together means that we have collaborated our skills, we've collaborated our resources, our mindsets and our actions, and we've become aware of our process, and therefore the results are so much better, way beyond our own thinking, because now there's a team, there's a mastermind, going on. And anybody who knows about masterminds knows that there is an elevation of thought. And in that elevation of thought, that thought itself produces another way of thinking, an added, enhanced way of thinking. There we go. There is my processing and my definition of self-management. Being self-determined in what it is you're going to be doing. You are the one who comes to the party. You are the one who has the buy-in. It has to start with you. Remember, it has to start with you. You cannot sustain it if you have not got buy-in, if you do not know why you are doing this, or what drives you, what energy, what passion drives you. In my case, my passion is the fact that it's the children who suffer when there isn't money at home. My passion is to help those children. How do I help those children? Well, I help those children through educating, developing, servant leadering, if that's a word, servant leadering their parents. Right? Buy-in, self-motivation, and discipline, ladies and gentlemen, in my book equals self-management. And let's just take it a little bit further. Happiness at work, and certainly happiness at home. I am Dr. Barbara Johnson. I am known as the People Developer. Trauma, transformation, transcendence, the transference of wealth. Please do take a screenshot of this. I would love you to connect with me around counseling, coaching, and consulting into your individuals and or teams. There is my LinkedIn link, my cell phone number, and my email address. I very much look forward to hearing from you, and I would like to say that we have got work to do together. We have got life to do together. And the question then would be, how would we be doing that? And at this stage, my screen is not doing what I thought it would be doing. So I may have to let go of this recording and send it to you like it is anyway. In the process of this thunderstorm wanting to happen, and in the process of this wonderful life that we are leading, I send blessings to you all, and to remember that self-management starts with self, for the results are going to require self to show up day by day by day. Bye-bye for now.